Am I the a-hole for telling my sister-in-law the truth about my brother and my husband? Plus update. I, 29 female, have a husband named Matt, 32 male, and an older brother named Tony, 32 male. Tony has a wife named Anna, 33 female. Tony and I both went to boarding school growing up. I went to an all-girls school and he went to an all-boys school across the country. Because of the distance, we weren't very close as kids and I didn't know much about his life back then. When Tony was at boarding school, he met my future husband Matt and they became best friends. At the time, Tony was dealing with depression about his sexuality and Matt helped him out of it. Long story short, they ended up falling in love and having a relationship. Once they graduated high school, they broke up and lost touch. I didn't know about any of this at the time. I ended up going to the same university as Matt, which is where I met him. I didn't mention my brother initially because he wasn't really part of my life, and since Tony and I have different last names, the three of us didn't put the pieces together until a family gathering a year later. I'm not going to lie, it was tough at first for everyone involved, but eventually, we were able to get past it and Tony and Matt became best friends again. Matt and I got married 3 years ago. When I met Tony's partner Anna for the first time, I privately asked Tony if he had told her about his history with Matt. Tony said it was still a new relationship and he would tell her when they were more serious. Now Tony and Anna are married. Since Tony and Matt are so close, they often go on boys' trips with just the two of them. They took one of these type of trips last weekend and everything was going fine until I got a call from Anna asking if I knew where Tony was. Apparently he told her he was going to see her parents, but she called them and he wasn't there. I told her that he was on a trip with Matt. She got upset and asked me if there was something going on between them. Thinking she already knew because she and Tony are now married, I told her not to worry because Matt and Tony's romance ended in high school. That's when I found out Tony never told her. Tony was furious at me when he got back because Anna is threatening divorce and I'm tearing up his family because I told her without asking him first. Apparently, Tony didn't tell Anna the truth because he thought she wouldn't let him see Matt anymore, and now Anna wants him to cut me and Matt out completely. Matt is upset too because he can't see Tony and he's losing his best friend all over again. My brother wants to cut me out of his life, his wife wants a divorce, and my husband is miserable. All because of something I said. I feel so guilty and can't help but feel as though I messed everything up. Am I the a-hole? Edit. I really appreciate everyone's comments. Some of them are very hard to read, but I suppose this is a wake-up call that's long overdue. I know it may seem difficult to believe that someone my age can be so naive and clueless, but being rational is something I've always struggled with. I wish it were fake. I'm realizing that this is most likely far worse than I thought it was. I won't be able to respond to individual comments for a bit, but I'm reading all of them in the meantime and will post an update when I can. Edit 2, I've seen a lot of comments asking why I didn't say anything about the trip sooner, what I thought they were doing, so I'll just answer here for the sake of convenience. My brother has been struggling with pretty severe depression for the past few years. Because of this, he doesn't go out much or have many friends. My husband is his only close friend and the only one Tony will open up to because my husband helped him through depression when they were younger. The outings with Matt are one of the few things that makes my brother happy. Matt always told me they do regular things like play video games and watch movies and go hiking and biking, so I didn't think too much into it. Even with Matt being Tony's ex, I thought it was more like Matt was helping his friend through a tough time. I now know and see how stupid I was to assume that, but that was my thought process. Edit 3. Please don't let this post be a justification for homophobia. Whatever happens with my brother and my husband is reflective of gay and bi people as a whole. Edit 4. Last edit. Wow, I stepped away for a bit and there were a ton of comments. I won't be able to respond individually as there's a lot going on right now, clearly, but I'll still be reading. Before I sign off, I have a couple of quick updates. Matt agreed to tell me everything after I've given him some time and space to process all of this. As much as I, and probably you all, want answers now, that's what I'll be doing, so still no word from my brother or sister-in-law. I'm going to give it a rest for the day and try to focus on something that doesn't terrify me. I'll be back with a separate update post when things make more sense. Thank you all. Also, I've seen Brokeback Mountain. Evidently, it's a lot more fun on screen than it is in real life. Now for some comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole, this is on your brother. This was quite a big secret to keep from his wife, and he did tell you that he'd tell her when they got more serious, so it's only natural for you to assume, since they are now married, very serious, that he has told her. Then again, I can't help but wonder why he lied to his wife about being at his parents' place. Why couldn't he tell her he was with Matt, especially if they go on these boys' trips so often together? Has he lied to his wife every time they go? Yeah, no wonder his wife is fuming. I would be concerned about my husband taking one of those trips with his ex-lover. Does it not seem real to you because his ex is a man? Your husband was in love with your brother. Romance over or not, this kind of sneaky behavior is a massive red flag. If his ex was a woman, would you still be this blaze? Not the a-hole for what you said to sister-in-law, but yeah, you might want to look at that friendship a bit more closely when Tony is lying to cover up his trias. Not the a-hole. You didn't know that he hadn't said anything, plus your brother lied to his wife about where he was going, so that's quite bad. I get the lying, not condone, but understand if she knew and had the whole don't see him attitude, but she didn't. I'm wondering why he felt the need to hide it from his wife. Did your partner tell you he was doing a lad's trip type thing? Side note, his wife has potential to be the a-hole as well. Being hurt and angry is understandable, and I can kind of see how she is right now. But if time passes and she's still banning him from seeing your husband, then that's being out of order. I feel quite sorry for your husband right now. Must have had a lot of complicated emotions going on in his mind. Hope it gets resolved positively. TLDR, not the a-hole, but brother is and potentially his wife, and give yourself and your husband a massive hug from us. Info. Tony lied about his past relationship, but was he also close to her? It's pretty vital information between figuring out if everyone is the a-hole or just Tony. I think that on a few levels, Tony's wife has a lot of hetero and toxic monogamous ways of viewing exes. And maybe there is a bit of trauma, so she is a bit of the a-hole too, but from her, it is understandable. She didn't know, and they are a bit closer than a lot of platonic relationships because of that past, so I am sure she picks up on it and is scared of getting cheated on. It's a mess, and she did ask you. ETA, also, it is important to ask how she feels about queer folks. I would imagine if everything else was right, but she hates he is bi-pan, then he'd keep that quiet even if there is literally nothing going on outside of fishing and platonic activities. ETA 2. I would hope for the best, plan the worst on the is Matt cheating front, because Tony is acting a little suspicious. I would ask quite candidly what happens on the trips. That you want to bust Matt, but you're scared that since Tony has been keeping secrets, that there might be more going on. That you realize it might be as simple as Anna not being chill with queer folks, but recent events have you questioning and you wanted him to clarify. Now for the update. I wasn't at all expecting my last post to get so much attention. To say that the comments were a wake-up call is an understatement. Many people wanted an update, so here it is. After I gave my husband space, I confronted him about his trips with my brother. He agreed to be honest with me about their relationship. As some of you suspected, Matt knew when we first met that I was Tony's sister and started dating me to get close to Tony again. He claimed that in the first year of our relationship, before he reunited with Tony, he genuinely fell in love with me. When Tony saw us together, he admitted to Matt that he still loved him and was distraught when Matt said he didn't feel the same way. Eventually, they made amends and became close friends again. Around the time Matt married me, Tony fell into a deep depression. That's when the trip started. Matt told me that initially he was just supporting Tony as a friend. But Tony broke down on one of the trips and confessed that he never stopped loving Matt and was lying about the trips to his wife because he felt guilty as why he never told her about their history. He begged Matt to keep this a secret to protect their relationship. According to Matt, nothing physical ever happened between them. I pushed him on why Anna thought there was something going on, and Matt eventually admitted that they were having an emotional affair. A few months ago, Anna overheard a phone call between Tony and Matt that made her suspicious, so she went through Tony's phone and confronted him about some things She found no hard proof, but enough to make her uneasy. She told Tony she didn't want him hanging out with Matt anymore, but he did anyway until I accidentally ratted him out. My brother and sister-in-law have totally cut contacts, so I don't have anyone to corroborate my husband's story. I still don't know how much of it I believe. If it's true, I don't know why Anna never told me anything. The whole thing sounds too ridiculous to be real, but for now, it's all I have. Matt has apologized nonstop and wants to work through this, which I can't even think about right now. The past couple of weeks have been awful. Matt moved out. We both agreed that we need distance before making any decisions about our marriage, but I don't see us coming back from this. I don't think I'll ever be able to trust anyone again. The worst thing is I have only myself to blame for being so effing naive and not seeing the massive red flags sooner, and for marrying my brother's ex in the first place. More than anything, I feel so incredibly guilty. This was not the ending I'd hoped for, but I'm grateful that I at least have some answers right now. Honestly, I'm not sure I would have had the courage to directly confront this if not for my post here. So despite everything, maybe we can all think of this as somewhat of a happy ending. Thank you all for your comments and support. Edit. The outpouring of love and support from this sub is incredibly moving to me. Thank you so much for all of your comments and words and messages. I cannot express enough how much I appreciate it. I cannot respond directly to all of the comments, but rest assured, you have my gratitude. Story 2. Am I the a-hole because I don't emotionally support my wife's obsession with Taylor Swift? My wife is fully obsessed with Taylor Swift. For the last year plus, that's all she listens to. Every Taylor Swift album is one continuous loop when she's working out or even just walking around the house doing stuff. Spent $2,000 to go see her recently at a tour. Probably spent another $200 on merchandise. She filmed the show on her phone and will regularly put it on TV and just watch it for hours. We'll watch the live streams of her performances on TikTok or whatever streaming platform those are on. Is now going to see the concert movie. I mean, it has been non-stop Taylor Swift in her house for a long time now. She continually refers to the live concert as the best experience of my life. She says Taylor Swift is a lifestyle. I personally don't get it. I've never been obsessed with anything to that point. I love soccer and would love to watch Messi play, but I can't bring myself to spend $900 for a ticket to his upcoming match. It's just too much. I am really passionate about things my wife has no interest in, but I'm also not looking for her emotional support with those. Those are just things that are important to me and will remain important to me regardless. I have for sure made comments to my wife implying that this whole Taylor Swift thing is getting out of hand. I also was not super stoked that she was spending that much on one ticket to go see one of her concerts, but ultimately, it's what she really wanted and we had the money, so I said yes, and I am happy that she got to go. Recently, she blew up on me about how I don't support her as much as she thinks I should with her Taylor Swift lifestyle. She cites comments I'm making implying it's a cult and the only one winning here is Taylor Swift raking in the dough, and maybe it's time to focus on other things. She wants me to stop making comments like that and stop rolling my eyes and be supportive of her and her interests. But from my perspective, it's really taking over her life, and that just can't be healthy to obsess over something like that. People need balance. Story 3. Am I the a-hole for having an issue with a female friend shaving my boyfriend's butt? Am I the a-hole for having an issue with a female friend shaving my boyfriend's butt and voicing it? So recently we went out for an open-air party with my 32 male boyfriend, 33 male, and 2 of his female friends. While we were getting ready, my boyfriend wanted to shave the hair from his butt as he was going to wear some revealing clothes, so he brought a razor and some foam. The next thing I know, his female friend is applying the foam on his bare butt, being quite hands-on touching him. I noticed an immediate reaction to this in myself, and I jokingly approached them and said to the friend, Nah, I've got this, and asked for the razor, which the friend didn't want to give it to me. She said something along the lines of, chill, it's not the first time this is happening. And they didn't get my point when I asked why she was shaving my boyfriend's butt, when I'm there and I have an issue with this. Even if this is not sexual for them, it is for me, and now I feel like there's a weird power play between myself and the friend over my boyfriend's butt. LOL. Is not having others touch my boyfriend's private parts such an unreasonable boundary to have? I find this weird, and I don't want to not be able to voice that in front of my boyfriend if something doesn't fit well with me. I totally agree with that. That's just a weird story. Now for the comments, not the a-hole. I am well aware that sexual and personal boundaries work differently in the gay community, especially as it relates to female friends. But if you're not comfortable with it and you seek something more intimate and serious, you have every right to seek it. OP, he is showing you who he truly is. Believe it when you see it. You're young and you have plenty of time to find a relationship that works for you. There is no point clinging on to someone with such different values. Is this the first time he's acted this way, or is this typical behavior? Either way, keep in mind that if your values diverge from his in such a dramatic matter, this may not be the right relationship for you. Protect your heart and don't let it get broken so easily. OP, he is showing you who he truly is. Believe it when you see it. I mean, I think OP and his boyfriend should at least have a conversation about boundaries first before leaping to this. The boyfriend may have normalized these behaviors and thought OP was being polite rather than uncomfortable. Boy, I guess butt shaving should be normal then, right? Not really. Not the a-hole. It's not weird, but I'm surprised you haven't had this discussion over physical boundaries with his female friends before this incident, because she seems way over the line. You're not crazy. She seemed almost proprietary, as if the fact that he was her friend was more sacrosanct than the fact that he is your intimate partner. I am sure she has shaved his ass when he didn't have a partner. Different dynamics would imply different expectations in my mind, so why didn't she pick up on that? If you're a licensed professional, that makes it less weird. But if you're in a relationship and your significant other's present, and you get someone else to shave your ass, especially someone of the opposite sex, without your partner's awareness, that's weird. I agree with that totally. That's all for today. If you're enjoying this story, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you.